So, promise I would do it. So here's start myself off. These are the scariest episodes of Doctor Who, or at least my ranking of my list of the scariest. Once again, from each series, and I'm ranking them by era. So, series 1, scariest episodes for me was a tie with the ones that made it onto my greatest list: The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances. This was when Stephen Moffat did things really scary. Like, before he really took over the show, when previously Russell T Davies was running it and Stephen Moffat wrote an episode, his were usually pretty scary, and this is a prime example of it. I mean, he was able to take a simple concept for a monster, a child in a gas mask, and manage to make it frightening. Like, this episode, I think I've seen many people go on about this is one of the scariest things Doctor Who did, and I'm not going to deny it. This thing terrified me. I mean, just, you mummy. Blimey, that thing was scary. I mean, yeah, scariness has kind of worn off over the years, but still, that thing at the time was pretty scary. For Series 2, I've seen people go on that scariest one is probably something like The Impossible Planet or The Satan Pit. But for me, at the time, the scariest episode for me was The Idiot's Lantern. Now, I've met people and seen people who are like, oh, that's not scary, and I think that the reason for it is that the actress, Maureen Lipman, she's not particularly scary. They can't really get scared by her. But for me, it wasn't the wire that was scary, but what she did to people. Like, the creature, she left people blank. And that, to me at the time, that was kind of really creepy. Just seeing something that you knew once had so much life just now blank. Quite literally, its face sucked off. But yeah, I know people don't find it particularly very scary, but for me at the time, I found it scary. Now, Series 3, I'm going to go a little off thing here, and I admit, most people, when they do kind of scariest rankings of Doctor Who, they usually put Blink somewhere in there. And I admit that one is a very scary episode, and that probably is more scary than my choice. I admit Blink is properly scary. But I remember back in 2007, when the series aired, that for me, the one I truly remember being scared at the end of was Human Nature. The episode that came 2 episodes before Blink, and its follow-up, The Family of Blood. Just the Doctor being hunted down by a group of psychopaths, alien psychopaths who want to take his life so they can live forever. He doesn't know who he is. Everyone's expecting him to know what to do, and he doesn't. That, for me, I remember at the end of Human Nature, when they'd taken both his love, Joan, and Martha, I was genuinely scared. I was like, how's he going to get out of this? I don't know. But yeah, that for me was truly scary. But I admit, Blink is probably the scarier episode. I mean, Blink I've come to watch more and more with time. Human Nature and The Family of Blood I haven't watched that much of. But yeah, I still appreciate with all three how scary they were at that particular time. For Series 4, this was 2008, and this is one that I see on quite a few people's scariest episodes list, Midnight. Once again, this one wasn't written by Stephen Moffat. He had written the previous one, Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead, which were kind of a setup ones for his ultimately running the show. But the next episode that came out, Midnight, this thing did what Stephen Moffat did with The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances. It took a very simple concept for a scary thing, like something repeating everything you say, like the childish game you do with your older or younger siblings when you're young. And this thing was just terrifying. But it wasn't just the creature that was scary, it was the atmosphere that came with it. It's like this was a box episode, an episode where like they only had like 1, 2, maybe 3 sets using the entire thing. Like a group of about 6 or 7 characters put in a box for a long period of time, and you get to see not only how scary the creature is, but also how scary the passengers react to it. Like, like their kind of paranoia at each other, kind of snapping at each other, wondering what's going to happen next. Oh, we should throw you out. Yeah, that's probably what makes it scary. Not just the creature, but how humans react to it. And that was kind of at the time properly scary. Anyway, the final one I'm going to mention for now, which is the final one of Russell T Davies' career, was The Waters of Mars. Now, kind of with David Tennant's final year, I know my personal favourite the was the Next Doctor, and the one I said was best was probably The End of Time. And I've also grown to like Planet of the Dead, but this one I admit I didn't like much, but then I also found it really, really scary. The reason? It's technically right. I mean, as the Doctor says in the episodes, no matter what you do, water always wins. If you think about it, that's rather. When you think about it, that's really true, and because it's true, it's rather chilling. Like, even if you locked yourself in a box, eventually water would find a way around it, either by leak or suffocation, or it would find a way in. It always wins. Like, if you got a villain or a monster that's armed with water, ugh, or found a way to kind of infect water, then frankly, that's a pretty chilling creature. But yeah, it does have an emotional hype, kind of emotional query towards the end, which is also quite scary about how far the Doctor has come and what he has become once he realises kind of what he's done. And in the end, it's not only the creatures that are quite scary, but also what he becomes is quite scary. Like, the rules of time obey me. And yet, Adelaide Brooke was the one person who took him down. And in the end, once again, that's quite scary. So yeah, from Russell T Davies' era, running the show, Scariest episodes, The Empty Child two-parter, The Idiot's Lantern, Human Nature two-parter, Blink, Midnight, and The Waters of Mars. Anyway, I'll try and do another one tomorrow on Stephen Moffat's Scariest episodes. And he also had some pretty scary ones up there. Anyway, until then, have a good one.